saw New Orleans underwater, and I saw Circle Food Store underwater, and that's when I knew that this was not just like any other hurricane.
2 decades after Hurricane Katrina, Edward Buckles Jr. is still working through the emotional aftermath of the storm.
Is my family okay? Is my family still alive? Whenever I saw, neighborhoods and Circle Food Store underwater, I assumed that everybody who was in that proximity had perished.
When Katrina made landfall, the filmmaker was 13, but he says he didn't realize the toll the destruction took on him mentally until his 30s.
Growing up in like the echoes and the shadows and just the aftermath of that wasn't easy.
Growing up in a post-Katrina New Orleans and the trauma that came with it became the inspiration for his HBO documentary, Katrina Babies.
Trauma was something that went ignored a lot for children.
The film follows the lives of children who grew up in New Orleans after the storm.
Many of us were uprooted in the middle of our brains developing.
Buckles says walking through each victim's emotional journey added years to the project.
For many of us to never be asked, how we were doing, to never, get therapy.
Hurricane Katrina left scars that can still be seen across the city and still felt by the people who lived through it. A mental health expert says even 20 years later, it's never too late to get help.
You don't have to be in crisis for therapy to be beneficial for you.
Therapist Erin Stevens describes why therapy can be helpful for storm survivors.
But what happens when your entire support system went through the same thing you did? You need also a person who doesn't really know your perspective and doesn't have an opinion and can just listen without any sort of bias.
And Stevens says trauma can resurface in ways you might not expect.
It actually might be affecting you somatically. That can be through, stomach issues, headaches.
So on the 20th anniversary of the storm, that changed everything. Stevens and Buckles say you don't have to face the emotional aftermath alone.
Experiencing Hurricane Katrina, whether you stayed or evacuated, and being uprooted as a kid, that's not normal.
In New Orleans, Amelia Strahan, WWL, Louisiana.